so welcome to our next lesson in the chapter that is called The Big Three, which is really the chapter based upon all of the physical aspects of the exercises of the sequence that we're going to be sharing with you as we isolate all of the components and really break down the details. So in our overview lesson, we looked at kind of what we call the Big Three. We introduced dog exercise, we introduced warrior exercise, we introduced pulling a straight leg exercise. We discussed that really between dog and warrior, you could need be just pick one of the two because that would be just fine. Then pulling on the straight leg exercise is really for everybody all the time because it's just so perfect, so strategic, and can be done anywhere, anytime. So now this lesson is going to focus on the first of the Big Three called dog. And even if dog is not easy for you at this point, it's important that you appreciate this lesson because this is how you're going to build your strength. Okay, this is going to give you the capacity and the strength needed so that if dog is not easy for you yet, it's going to get that way. Okay, all right. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to be showing you this dog exercise, but dog exercise in our system is always entered through a very specific way. In other words, we have an entrance for dog. And the entrance that we use for dog is designed to bring a lot of strength to your body, okay? And so what that means is that before we enter dog, we're going to do push-ups. I'm going to show you all this in a minute. We're going to demonstrate this and we'll review it again. But I'm just kind of being clear here from the beginning. We're going to be doing push-ups, you know, like the kind you did in school, like actual real push-ups. And whether that's easy for you or not, whether that feels like it might even not feel good, none of that is important to me right now because the push-up position is a safe practice for all people with back pain, and it is very important that we begin to build strength in our body. We do not heal, we don't have a pain-free existence when our body is getting weaker every day. So we're going to be using an entrance that's going to involve push-ups. We're going to be using an entrance that's going to involve a gentle back bend, okay? And we're going to show all this soon enough, but I want to give you the theory and the overview first. And we're going to be using an entrance that's going to have a back bend, and again, I understand many people would have a thought or a belief that says, oh, but it always hurts when I do back bends. It always hurts. I appreciate that. I would suggest that it's hurting at all times, including back bends, but the real reason why it would ever hurt in a back bend would only be when you're not doing it correctly, okay? So we're going to show you how to do it correctly. These are going to be some gentle back bends, going to bring some nice range of motion to the spine. They are safe. For lower back pain, it is forward bends that are not safe. It is back bends that are safe. We're going to do them gently. We're going to do them intelligently, and they're going to be part of our system. And then we'll be using that entrance of push-ups, some gentle back bends, and use that to enter into our dog. Okay? We'll get into the dog. We'll have the one leg off the ground. We'll be focusing on those hamstrings at the bottom leg. We'll switch sides, and then we'll rest. Okay? So this is kind of an overview of and a very specific presentation of first the entrance to dog, and then dog itself. But let's do it in reverse. Let's show dog first, okay? So let's review kind of what dog looks like. Okay, so dog's on the knees. Start right on the hands and the knees. Okay. And in dog, one leg off the ground and the other leg straight. So here's our dog, okay? And we've already seen this a little bit in that overview video, but now we're going to be looking at it again. So here's our dog, and of course we would eventually switch sides. But like I've said now, let's look at the entrance to dog, okay? So let's come to your knees and kind of see here. So whenever we want to rest, in anything that we're talking about, any sequencing that we're doing, anytime you want to rest, when we have back pain, we rest in this position here. We rest with our spine straight and our knees down. It's always nice to have something padding underneath our knees so that the knees are not feeling uncomfortable. Here's our resting position. Now, as we enter the push-up position, you can first kind of come to your hands and your knees and then spread out nice and far, and then you can start doing your push-ups by lowering down and lowering up. Now, notice that our knees are on the floor. This is a very good option, okay? Now, if you find that you don't want to put your knees on the floor, then you can do a regular push-up as well, with your knees, not on the floor. And some people find this to be possible. Okay, now in both cases, they're very similar. In both cases, they're bringing you a tremendous amount of benefit as it strengthens your entire body. Now after those 3 push-ups, as we enter into dog, and before we do, we're going to do 3 times a back bend. Okay, and on the back bend, you can do it actually as you breathe. So you can inhale and come into a gentle back bend. And you can exhale and put your head back on the floor. Okay, so it's going to go like that. You can inhale into a gentle back bend. You can exhale, put your head on the floor. And one more time, you can inhale into a back bend. Okay, now if we're doing our sequence, then that would be how we did it. We would do 3 of those, then we would come onto our knees first, and then we would come into dog and lift one leg off the ground. Okay, so that was exactly how we're going to be doing this sequence. Now every time we enter dog, we're going to start with 3 push-ups, we're going to do 3 gentle back bends, and then we're going to do dog with one leg off the ground. Now let's talk about one little detail here. Okay, so let's come back onto our belly and prepare for that back bend. And it's really, really important that you understand how to do a back bend. In any case, okay, so I know that you have lower back pain, but these back bends are safe. What's really important is that you scoop your tailbone between your legs. So imagine that you had a tail, you want to scoop that between your legs. Once the tailbone is scooped between your legs, you want to feel like your abdominal muscles, come on up, you want to feel like your abdominal muscles here on the front of your body are actually engaging and coming in. So in this context, and of course most of us are not going to look like such a deep back bend, most of us are going to kind of look more like that, okay, or less. But either case, the tailbone's going to scoop down, the belly will draw in, and that's going to be how you will intelligently and correctly do a back bend without compressing your lower back. So let's review this. Let's show again this entrance. Let's show these 3, 3, D, D. Okay, so you come into a top of a push-up. You do 3 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, and then lie on your belly. And now you do 3 of these little cobras. 1, 2, 3, doing all that I showed you with this scooping the tailbone, and then you come to your knees and your hands first, and from your knees and your hands first, now you lift your hips and take one leg off the ground, and we have entered dog. Now always we're going to do dog on both sides whenever we do it. We're going to do the right side, then we're going to do the left side. Our whole key with dog is to keep focusing on the straight leg. The hamstring experience of the hamstring stretching and opening is what we want, and the leg extremely engaged and the belly engaged, but the jaw relaxed. Okay, so don't have tension in your face, no tension in your throat or anything like that. Only strength that we want is in your legs and in your belly. Okay, the whole body's getting stronger. We're targeting those hamstrings, and that's why the dog is the #1 of our big 3. Okay, so let's come down and rest. And how do we rest? Of course, we rest here in this position on our hands and our knees. Okay, so this is the first of our big 3. This was called dog. This was our entrance, our 3 push-ups, our 3 back bends, and then our entrance into the dog. We'll be carrying on into these later lessons and look into warrior, and we'll look into pulling the straight leg, and then we'll put it all together so you understand the theory of the sequence, and then we'll be, of course, giving you some pre-sequence videos for you to practice at home. See you at the next lesson.